Hello, good people. This is Emmanuel Safali bringing you a very special episode of the Promise Insurance Show. Yes, this channel was started to talk about mostly insurance. However, we also have financial services that insurance companies do. And today we have a very special sponsor or partner that we've gotten on board who has agreed to sensitize and educate the public about unit trust, because this is a subject that has been in the public out there. People have been wondering, others have benefited and invested their monies during the time of the lockdown. By the time they went back to business, there were some good returns. So what was the magic behind? That was what people who are aware, who had done their research, got to benefit. So I'm esteemed to introduce Britam Asset Managers, who are a sister company to Britam Insurance, who are going to talk about themselves. Then we're going to talk about how strong they are in terms of foundation, their strengths in terms of capitalization, because all that is very important for you to know the person who is going to invest money for you under a collective scheme. And because not everyone can do it by themselves, you won't do it as well as someone who has been doing it as their profession. So for that matter, I would want us to welcome Britam Asset Managers, and with the GM, General Manager, who is Ronald Kasolo, to talk more about what he's doing to change the face of unit trusts and other financial services in the country. Thank you.
My name is Hilary Asimwe, and I am for Britam Asset Managers, Uganda. I welcome you all to today's training. I think we can start. It is exactly 9 a.m. So I am your moderator for today's training, and we shall be looking at how to pick the best investments in these uncertain times. So the topic for the day is investing smart in this economy. And our speakers for the day are going to be Mr. Kasolo Ronald and Mr. Vernon Kiguru, who is our acting investments manager. So the agenda is going to be at 9. Of course, people are logging in, and we shall have opening remarks. At 9:10, we shall pray and do the presentations. I'll take the prayer. Then at 10:30 to 11 a.m., we shall have questions and answer session. And after that, we can be closed and depart at ease. So at this moment, I'll take the prayer. Sorry about that. At this moment, I'll take the prayer. Lord Father, we thank you for today and for each and everyone's life. We ask for forgiveness where we could have fallen short of glory. We ask for your intervention as we take on this training. May it be of value and ultimately impact positively on our investors' lives. In Jesus' name, we've prayed. So at this moment, I will call on Mr. Ronald Kasolo, who is our General Director for Britam Asset Managers Uganda, to give his opening remarks and also carry on with the meeting, with the training. Thank you so much. Ronald, you're welcome.
Thank you, Hilary. Our investors, esteemed clients, and everybody on the call, a very good morning to you all. I would like to thank you for making the time to join us for this online workshop where we'll be discussing investing smart in this economy. And before I do anything else, I'd like to first and foremost thank you for the business patronage. It's always a pleasure to serve you, and we'll continue to provide you with financial security every step of the way with our investment and protection products. We're committed to continue offering you a seamless service as well as superior customer experience, and certainly we value the relationship. As a business, obviously, we'll continue to thank you, and we'll continue to do our best to ensure that we're able to meet your expectations. As a business, we've done very well, given the growth in our wallet share. You'll see the same in our presentation, but also in terms of our strategy for 2021 to 2025, we've continued to reposition the business around the customer, and going forward, we are then positioned as a truly customer-centric organization. I'll be able to share some of those highlights again in the presentation. As I turn to today's topic, which is investing smart in this economy, we thought it was very prudent to begin a conversation on the topic, given the developments in the economy, and specifically the volatile macroeconomic environment. Recently, we've seen an increase in the cost of living, and this cost of living continues to rise and is expected to continue in the same direction until 2023. And that has proven to be challenging in terms of how we're managing your investments, but also bearing some consequences in terms of how we're able to meet your investment objectives. So looking at the recent rise in the cost of inflation, the cost of living is then been driven by a number of a combination of factors. We're seeing some global issues. We are seeing the depreciation in the Uganda shilling, as well as the recent rise in food prices, given the drought that we witnessed in Uganda. For the global issues, it's really been the geopolitics, the war between Russia and Ukraine, and what that has done to global food prices as well as fuel prices, and that has affected the economy by over the imported inflation, which has also been a very big challenge. So because of that, we are then seeing a global fear of a recession. And already when you look at our economic performance for the quarter ended June, we saw that the economy is slowing down for Uganda. We had a reading of 4.9%, much lower than the 13% we had in a similar quarter in 2021. So given the risk of a recession, together with the response of central banks globally, we are then seeing a tightening of financial conditions, which is weighing down on economic performance. And this is expected to continue until financial year 2025 to 2026. So in light of those developments, we thought it was very important for us to then cast a spotlight on some of those issues, as well as then have a discussion around what we are doing as a business to ensure that we're able to preserve the investments from the perspective of purchasing power, as well as continue to explore opportunities to provide a real return on investments. So turning to our agenda for the day, we'll look at a brief introduction to Britam for some of you who continue to know the business, but as well as to provide some highlights on what the business is up to, Britam as a company, and we'll look at the investment opportunities, and this is where we'll really focus on the our approach to investing smart in this economy, and then we'll conclude with some information on the Britam Unit Trust Funds, and we'll get into the Q&A session. So in terms of our vision really is to be a leading diversified financial services group with interest in insurance, asset management, banking, and property. So that is our vision as a business, and we strive to provide financial security with our investment and protection products. So the group has a geographical footprint in the whole of East Africa, and down south we are in Malawi and Mozambique. Those are 7 countries, and within the group we are proud to mention that we have the largest insurance company in the region by market capitalization. This is the market capitalization of 851 billion as at the period ended at 31st December 2021. This is our structure. So the holdings company has 12 different wholly owned subsidiary companies. We can see these are split across the different business lines. Under insurance, we have 8 subsidiaries. Under asset management, we have 2 of them. I would like to mention that for asset management, Uganda was the first business to expand out of Kenya. And so that comprised the second business under asset management. Property, you can see there's 1 subsidiary there. And then we also have 1 subsidiary under portfolio investments to make it a total of 12 wholly owned subsidiaries under Britam Holdings. I've mentioned how we are reorganizing our business around the customer, and the goal really is to position the business as a customer-centric organization. And this is happening at 3 levels. The first level is really forging strategic partnerships through our partnerships and digital segment. And then we're also optimizing our approach to the customer by organizing the business under 2 segments. Here we have the retail segment as well as the corporate segment. And then lastly, we are unlocking the next tier of customers through our emerging consumer segment. So again, this is part of our 2021 to 2025 strategy, and we'll continue to really ensure that there's customer centricity by focusing on these different foundations, as you can see on the left part of the slide. On the investment side, we will then have a shift in investment strategy, again focused on those different segments I've mentioned, and that will be supported also with international expansion as we drive international growth. On the right part of this slide, you can see the EPIC. Our desire to provide a seamless customer experience with our EPIC focus. EPIC represents employees. This then focus on the internal customers. When they are happy, they're able to serve the external customers very well. We have the partnerships. This is really a focus on the various stakeholders and how they can support the business. Then innovation through our various digital initiatives ongoing. And then the most important one here is the C, which is a squared. So this is squared because then we intend to put customers first, and we continue to do that. And in putting them first, we then expect in terms of our conduct to be able to treat them fairly. And that is the EPIC squared. So you can see that as a business, we are committed to a customer-facing approach, and then we are committed to offering a superior customer experience through our EPIC squared approach to dealing with yourselves. We look at our business model. this is really organized around the 6 capitals. And again, you can see that across all these capitals, the most important one here that I would like to focus on is the human capital, where as a business, we have 800 plus dedicated workforce. And this is supported by over 2,000 financial advisors. And the various wholly owned subsidiary companies have dedicated boards, and that brings on board the experienced leadership team with then a clear focus on ethics and values for the business. So this is our business model. The goal is that with the 6 different capitals, we're then able to focus on achieving sustainable positive outcomes for our various stakeholders, as you can see on the right part of the slide. If I move on to just move on to the next slide. Yeah, so if I move on to our shareholding, this is very important. Over the years, we've seen the shareholding of the company change. Obviously, the business is listed on the Nairobi Securities Exchange for the last several years. And we have a number of shareholders. I'd like to start with the largest shareholder in the business, and that owns 18%. This about 18%. This is Africa Invest. So Africa Invest is a consortium of various investment arms of different European governments. So we have DEG, which represents the German Investment and Development Corporation. That is for the German government. We have the Netherlands Development Finance Company, FMO, representing the investment arm of the Netherlands government. And then we have Propaco, which is the French development agency representing the investment arm of the French government. So that is about 18% of our business. The second largest shareholder is Swiss Re. And I know all of us know Swiss Re as the largest reinsurer in the world. They own about 16% of the business. And then in third place, we have IFC, a World Bank, and that owns about 9% of the business. So in totality, we have 40% of our business under the 3 largest international investors, led by Africa Invest in the first place, Swiss Re in the second place, and then IFC, a World Bank, in the third place. Then the balance of shares is what is owned by various individual and institutional investors through the Nairobi Securities Exchange, given that I were listed on that exchange. So this is again our footprint. I talked about this. So you can see that the whole of East Africa, we have a presence, including South Sudan and Rwanda. When you move down south, then we have a presence in Malawi and Tanzania. You can see the different entry dates in each of those countries. For Uganda, we've been around from 2010, which is now about 12 years. And then obviously for the different countries, we can see here the youngest is Mozambique, Tanzania, and Malawi, where the entry was done in 2014. With our strategic plan, there are initiatives to get into more regions, mainly the West and a bit of other parts of Africa. But that again will be communicating as and when those plans are firmed up. Continuing with the group structure, key to note here is that Britam Asset Managers is under the Asset Management Division, But then I talked about the insurance business, which is the largest in terms of market capitalization in the sub-Saharan African region. And then we have our property business, which complements our product offering for the various investment products we offer for the asset management business. And then lastly, we have the banking, given the interests in the housing finance group in Kenya, and then equity finance group, again, in Kenya. At the bottom is then a listing of the various subsidiaries. So for Uganda, maybe provide a little bit of background. We started the business in 2017 with a launch in July when I joined. So to date, we've made about 5 years. And as I've mentioned, we've continued to grow our wallet share, and we've seen the business grow well, as demonstrated by the growth in assets under management, given that now we have over 900 billion of your money. And for this, we are really grateful again for the business patronage. So this money is invested in various products. We have the unit trust funds, which is our flagship retail product, but also we have private wealth management, a bit of property advisory, and then the pension solutions for both retail and institutional investors. The investment business is supported by over 70 people. A part of this is a team in Uganda, and then supported by the team in Kenya to ensure that we're able to tap into the diversified skill set of the business as we run the day-to-day operations. This is the ownership structure. So you can see we have the 40%, and then the balance of the shares that are then on the Nairobi Securities Exchange. You can see that 25% is the local institutional investors, and 30% local individual investors. So this gives you a view to the shareholding for Britam Holdings as a company. And I've mentioned Britam Holdings owns 100% the Britam Asset Managers subsidiary. So the Britam Asset Managers is a wholly owned subsidiary of Britam Holdings. And the other thing is that given the entry of the 3 largest shareholders, we've seen we've benefited from being able to benchmark mostly the compliance practices, so that has strengthened our business. And on the investment side, we've also been able to benchmark investment strategy, given the global experience of those 3 shareholders. And that has also provided us some guidance in terms of the products that we're able to structure, and that will continue to provide you. We're a regulated business. We have 3 regulators. We have the capital markets. Then in 2011, when UBRA came on board, that is the next regulator for the pension sector. And then we also have the Financial Intelligence Authority, given the amount of money that the business manages and moves around in the financial sector. So we have the FIA also provide both on-site and off-site surveillance of the business. So the combination of the over 900 billion is then split between our retail and institutional clients. For the retail clients, for those who are wondering, these are really individuals, companies, religious bodies, schools, NGOs, government parastatals organized under retail. And for the institutional, it's largely the pension schemes. Alongside NSSF, we have various occupational pension schemes. Those have grown in number, and we are able to provide our investment advisory services to them in a bid to meet various objectives for the beneficiaries, who are the pensioners in this case. So that forms the bulk of our institutional clients. Under there, we also have a bit of what we call discretionary accounts. those non-pension mandates that again comprise a bit of assets, so we're able to again have that organized under institutional clients. In terms of products, for the retail business, we have the unit trust funds, which I mentioned are our flagship product, but we're also happy to have a very unique a license for a special unit trust fund called the fixed income money market fund. So unlike the conventional unit trust funds, the fixed income money market fund provides certainty in terms of what rate you're earning and the period you're investing. While the traditional unit trust funds are usually floating products. You earn daily, and then there's entry and exit at any point in time. So we saw that there was a market appeal to have some certainty around returns and certainty for a defined period of time. So we worked with our regulator, the Capital Markets Authority, to have a special license that then enabled the business to launch this product that allows you to know exactly what you're earning over a defined period of time, organized under the collective investment schemes, meaning that then you also benefit from the tax exemption, which is currently in the law. For the institutional products, it's mainly the pension offering, where we manage the various occupational pension funds, where we manage the endowment funds in the country, gratuity funds, for those that do not have occupational pension funds, and then different funds that are open-ended, as well as the fixed income money market fund that's also organized for the institutional clients. Our approach to real estate is a focus on two areas where we're able to get into development funds, those that are getting into greenfield opportunities. And for some of the investments that we have is the income fund. For example, the first project was the Britam house, where we are currently housed on plot 4 Kibua Road. But we continue to work with our customers to then be able to support on property investments. So between Uganda and Kenya, we have over 2.5 billion US dollars. So we're able to leverage that financial muscle to continue to work with different issuers of both debt and equity opportunities, so that we're able to invest in those, but also to utilize that muscle to extract superior investment returns by leveraging our overall holdings in the region. So with that, we've come to the end of the introduction to Britam, as well as have some perspective on why we thought it was very important for us to then have a conversation on investing smart in the current difficult economic times.
All right, welcome back from that insightful panel discussion. We have heard from the Ronald, the GM, we have heard from the operations manager, Vernon, and we're seeing how asset management, pensions, we have looked at unit trusts. There's a whole mouthful that you will have learned today, I'm sure. So please tune in next week to listen to more of the breakdowns of the various financial services products that are out there, so that you get an understanding and an appreciation of where we are doing. All this is about leveraging. You can't do everything. You can maintain doing your core business while you let the professionals do their business of growing your money, of growing your hard-earned money in a passive way. You know, that is what they call passive wealth. So this is not too late. You can also do it. You can join by calling anyone available. The contacts were shared. You can also check on the link below for my contacts and for any other correspondences, so that you can benefit from this without really worrying so much where the returns are going to come from, because you can't do everything by yourself. I remain Emmanuel Safali, reminding you to hope for the best while preparing for the worst. Keep tuned.